Two games I've been playing recently have been Harvest Moon Lost Valley and the Story of Seasons. The Story of Seasons is not officially a Harvest Moon game, but is basically a whole other company translating the Japanese Harvest Moon game, but not allowed to use the word Harvest Moon. So it really is Harvest Moon, just not under the official banner. And here is the differences between the two games. Lost Valley is your character in a vast, open, completely empty, endless winter. No other houses anywhere to be found, no other stores, no other buildings of any kind, just your one building. Villagers come into the area and walk around the field, but they don't want to stay in the valley. There is a mystery of something causing an endless winter, and you have to restore the other seasons. You also have harvest sprites and a harvest goddess and all that typical Harvest Moon stuff. You have a wide variety of crops, as each crop has a multiple number of mutations and subtle variations on itself that it can grow into depending on various conditions. The big thing with Lost Valley is that you have a Minecraft-like ability to raise and lower the land's levels, and you're working in sort of a cubic square, boxy Minecraft-looking world. You get to dig up and dig down and make staircases and pathways and move the water around and stuff like that. The downside is that it takes so much time and effort to do the staircase building and the pathway building and the raising and lowering of the land, and you get so focused on doing that you don't have time to do anything else, and your day is over before you even get even slightly started on it. So it's not enough time and stamina in the day to really do any particular interesting projects. You might spend weeks of game time doing one staircase, as opposed to being able to take however much time you need to finish it and then calling it concluded and perfect and then going to bed. You also have to manage resources like soil and stuff so that your bag doesn't get too full or too empty. You even have large sections that you can't even access until you get your hammer, and that happens way later in the game. And when you do get to use the hammer and access that area, it's a lot of work with rock and not so much with soil, so you end up running out of resources pretty fast. That plus the fact that even after a year or two of gameplay, you still don't have houses and buildings and people asking to move in, and you're not building structures like you were in A New Beginning, and you're not using materials to create new houses for different characters and setting up the way the town looks. It leaves you with a ton of nothing to do. It's a lot of space, and a lot of space not getting used, and a lot of space that you can't interact with until you unlock the next level of stuff. That plus the fact that there's a lot of tools that don't upgrade and you still have to do one square at a time work really makes the game more tedious and boring than fun and interesting. There's a lot of missed opportunities with this series. A lot of stuff going on that I wish was more to it. Story of Seasons, on the other hand, feels like a continuation of the gameplay, style, graphics, and feel that was started in New Beginning. A ton of stuff from New Beginning carries over to Story of Seasons, and Story of Seasons improves on what New Beginning offered you. There are tons of events to do in this game. It seems like almost every day something new is happening during the first 2 years that is interesting and fun, and it makes you want to continue on and continue exploring and discovering and uncovering all this new stuff. The graphics are actually 3D and pretty high quality, as opposed to Lost Valley, where I had to turn off the 3DS's 3D and made no difference whatsoever. This actually has the third dimension working on it. The controls are a lot better. Compared to other Harvest Moon games, the basic beginner tools feel very overpowered. It actually feels like the game is giving you an easier gameplay than previous Harvest Moons ever did, so you're able to focus on progressing and making money and enjoying the game, as opposed to focusing on leveling up your tools. Both games are for the 3DS. We still don't have a Harvest Moon game for the Wii U yet. If I had to recommend one over the other, I would say go with Story of Seasons. It's a lot more to do, it's a lot more fun, a lot more interesting. There is a little bit of that Minecraftian feel to Lost Valley, but really not enough going on in that respect. It just doesn't give you enough time to complete your mining and digging projects, and it doesn't give you enough reward for all of the work and effort that you put into it. Lost Valley could be an interesting thing if they would make a few changes, such as longer days to get all of your jobs done, and more people willing to move into the valley during the first year. Anyhow, that's all for my recommendations. Thank you for watching, and good night. And also, like any Harvest Moon game, this is one that bronies could enjoy, because they could run a farm and own animals and pretend to be Applejack if they so wish. If you've always wanted to be Applejack, this is a game for you to enjoy.